Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest to Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute honor to welcome John, a meditation facilitator whose holistic approach bridges the timeless wisdom of Eastern practices with cutting-edge insights from neuroscience, habit transformation, and behavioural change. John's work guides individuals to cultivate body, mind, soul harmony through key healthy behaviours such as restful sleep, mindful movement, mindful eating, stress reduction, and meditation practices rooted in breath regulation. His journey began in 2001 in Japan under the guidance of a Buddhist Zen master, and over the past 2 decades, he has deepened his expertise across workshops and retreats spanning across the world from Canada, South Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, India, and so forth. I don't know what is going on with my tongue twisting today, but it's all a part of the fun. John combines his profound knowledge of emotional regulation and trauma recovery with practical strategies for energy balance. That's something I think I need to do right now. Fitness, nutrition, and well-being. His sessions are immersive, blending functional movement, yoga flow, pranayama, and guided meditation, inviting participants to truly reconnect with themselves on every level. I definitely need to hear his wisdom and his knowledge and everything he has today. What a perfect day to receive it. Welcome.
Thank you so much for this lovely, long introduction. People will have probably tuned out by then. It's like, oh my God, but that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So sorry to put you through this.
Yeah, I definitely think, and I really appreciate your honesty for that, because I definitely think that in itself, like having these incredible conversations, is a lesson for me today. And as much as I want to really celebrate my guest, sometimes simple is actually the best way forward. So I appreciate you.
It truly is.
And thank you so much.
Thank you. Take the floor.
So the first thing that definitely I am inquisitive about is what inspired you or guided you to go and find a Zen master? I think that's really not something that most people can say that they will have or will experience in their life.
To clear things, I was just the one encounter with that specific Zen master on my second trip to Japan. It was magical. I would say, in a nutshell, what inspired me to do so is a yearning. It's a need to find answers. And I think it's the human story, now born out of trauma, out of pain. I don't want to start going deep, like it's so fast, but let's ride the wave a bit to give a bit of background. But through childhood trauma, multiple traumas, growing up in civil war, and a lot of healing that needed to be done. And so fast forward decades later, all the way to South Korea and then Japan on my holiday. I've always all my life wanted to go to visit Japan, visit the temples, etc. Plenty temples in Korea as well, where I lived for many years. And so I combined that, and I was really intrigued. Zen. Your podcast. One of two words, Zen, and zest for life. You're full of this perfect naming, like you're zestful living. You're full of zest, full of aliveness, and that really helps your guests kind of like come out of their shell, to feel much more comfortable to share what they need to be shared. Also, like my teaching, or what my learnings, my teaching, my guidance is Healing Zen. That's my website, is healingzen.org. And so going seeking like a guidance to a Zen temple, to a Zen monk, trying to learn meditation and failing miserably and finding it extremely boring. And this was my first encounter. And then so I left. I was like, and this is it. Like, what am I missing here? But this was just like, again, just a part of the search, right? And then going back to Korea, well, I was living for many years, as I said, and then went to temples just for taking pictures, to enjoy nature, to whatever. And then people praying. It's like, what is this all about? And then you go deeper and deeper and deeper over the years. You encounter people, that will show you they're ahead of you on the way. And then it's like you see how they live and how they speak and how they act. And you can try to tell which one is authentic, which one isn't, which one is kind of faking it. And then you can kind of like, it's like a resonance. You try which people you're gonna resonate with, which ones the energies you gravitate towards, and how are you showing up in the world. And so I had a lot of healing to do, self-healing. And so after decades, so what was a trauma became a gift. So now I'm able to be in this position to hopefully to be able to, those who are seeking, those who are looking for guidance, those who are perhaps much younger, who are maybe like my younger self, who, like I have not the map, but a map, a way, not the way, but a way. And there are many ways to arrive to the top of the mountain. So when you go to the top of the mountain, there are many ways, right? There are many ways.
Yeah.
Some are longer, some are shorter, some are much more difficult. But if it's very, very complicated, very complex, and if you never climbed that specific mountain before, now, and perhaps the sun is not shining as brightly on that day, and then you need a guide, someone to show you. You need a map, someone to show you. And all of us, are guided by numberless other beings, other people, through books going back centuries, through world knowledge, through even our own DNA. We have to bypass the mind, the brain. Something came to me a couple of years ago. I woke up one day, I was just walking by, and then I was just like, it just hit me. And the idea that just came to me is simply wisdom of the ancestors. And I felt this is so powerful. It's this is the first time in my life this kind of just came to me, this thing, this kind of teaching, this realization. So every cell of our being is intelligent.
Yeah.
And the mind is not the master. The mind thinks it's a master through our ego, our false ego. But once we live long enough, we study long enough, we experience enough of life through our five senses, through others, just being out in nature, just quieting in the mind long enough, the answers for what we're seeking, it's inside us. It really is inside us. And we never realize it, because it's what do you mean it's inside? It's like you're scratching your head when you're 15, even 25 for some of us, 35. It's everyone has their own journey.
Yeah.
And so there's so much wisdom in each cell of our being. The mind is not the master. They say the mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Which leads me this idea in Buddhism, the monkey mind. It's kind of hilarious, but just imagine, you're in the forest, actually I'm here in Da Nang in Vietnam. I'm staying by the beach for the past 2 months, and I went for a beach walk today, beautiful day, and then I looked towards it's called Sontra Peninsula. This is the mountain in the distance. It's 10-minute ride, and it juts to the sea. It's beautiful, and there's a massive white sculpture of a lady Buddha. She's the protector of the city. And that mountain, also in English, it's also termed, so in Vietnamese, is Son Tra mountain, but it's also referred to as Monkey Mountain, because there are a lot of monkeys living there. And so you think, Buddha, meditation, there's a huge temple complex there. And, you think, okay, temple, Buddhism, meditation, monkey mind, it's right there, perfectly right. It's all there. So it's there for the seeking, for those who want to seek it. So, and if you look at something that's an ancient text in Hinduism, the Bhagavad Gita, the Gita, that they talk about how the charioteer, it's you have two horses, and Krishna is riding these two horses, and basically they're wild, and you need to kind of You need to like, they're like wild horses, but we need to tame them. And then someone who's equestrian, someone who's really, he's around horses. Horses are very, very, very deeply intelligent, and they're very, very peaceful and very, very, very powerful. And so that's why there's like equestrian therapy. People who have like physical, mental, psychological traumas and whatnot, they go in nature, they go to the, around horses, around animals. They're very, very healing. They're very, very soothing. And so again, we're back to the horses analogy, and then the Krishna taming the wild horses. So we need to, between desire for freedom, desire for being wild, like the senator, like a half man, half beast. I'm a Sagittarius actually, just by sheer coincidence. Peaceful warrior. I have one of my tattoos, peaceful warrior. So we need to utilize our energies, because it's all energetics. And so, for example, people say one of the biggest fears we have is the fear of public speaking. No one's gonna die, death by PowerPoint. No one's gonna die doing speech. But I've grown up, like I'm still like, I have like sometimes, like a bit of anxieties around things, and it's just normal. We need to accept it. So even with public speaking, people can be very anxious, but that's also energy. So you can kind of use that energy and divert it to a higher purpose. So you can see some kind of like performance anxiety, being on camera, public speaking, doing a job interview, etc., being in a ring with someone, and you're kind of fighting, or sport. It's all about play of energies. And energy is healthy. It could be redirected. Same thing with our so-called animalistic desires. That's energy. So that's why we say like about energy cultivation. Now we get into like a Taoism and Tai Chi and Qigong and pranayama, Kundalini. It's all about energy management and how you divert and direct energy. So sexual energy, for example, is not morally wrong. It's life force energy, and we need to direct it and then to utilize it. And that's why we can become maybe like a creative. So this is how creativity starts. You channel your energies. So there's a lot. You can talk for hours and hours, but that's it in a nutshell to answer your question about this journey unfold.
Wow.
Every day is an unfolding,
There's so much in that, like, and I want to be as present as possible, but also be really, mindful and make sure I pull out all the gems. And I feel like you shared so many there. Thank you so much. First of all, you're so welcome. First of all, thank you, even though you didn't share, and that's your call, whether you want to share or not, the deep and the deep telling of it. Thank you for just really...
I can. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, but I
Briefly.
just wanted to first of all say thank you for also being so raw and real and honest, and this is where the transformation comes. And even your comment, which I can relate to so much. Obviously, if that's changed now, that's different. But about meditation, and I realized that when I first learned about meditation, I honestly was like, oh, really? This is supposed to be something that is beneficial for people. But I think that in itself, and I would love your take on this in a minute, I think that word actually, it can't be defined, because walking mindfully for me is a meditation. Painting, expressing from my heart, dancing is a meditation. And I think we have this like, oh, your hands have to be like this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. But I believe that everything is what we believe it to be. So if we believe that we receive by putting our hands like this, then that becomes our life. Whereas if I believe that I can dance out my emotions, then why can't that be my type of meditation? So I would love to know what you...
Sure. Yes.
Obviously, I don't really think there's probably a one answer, but what is true meditation? Like, more than the describing, the feeling. What is true meditation to you?
Sure. So before I answer that, I'm going to answer your original question very, very briefly because frankly, you see my website, my business, my heart-led business, healings, and actually today when I went for like a beach walk and I was thinking, okay, like this may come up and how would I respond to it in the most authentic way without simply breaking down on
Mm.
camera? Because healing for some people, depending on the depth of a trauma. I mean, you have millions and millions of people. There are wars happening today as we speak,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and people are suffering. And then there's at some point in the future, even though time is relative or it's kind of a mental construct, at some point, this may be ongoing. This is the world we're living in. It's all energies, and it's all part of the universal,
Yeah.
if you want to, consciousness. So in my specific case, and millions and millions of others, maybe some of the listeners, maybe they may have gone through and going through. Um, in my situation as a child, a 4-year-old, my mom, she passed away. She had postpartum depression. And part of my apprehension of responding is because our family is very tight, and I feel like, it's like they're like, you don't share
Yeah.
that treasure of these secrets sometimes, you don't. But if one person may benefit, it needs to be shared.
Thank you. Yes.
So my mom passed away at 4, and then that was deep, and I saw that act, and it really messed me up like most of my life. um so therefore healing, so it's not healed in my case. It's not heal, heal, but it's ing, healing. So it's an unfolding process. However, that's also, I feel, it's a gift, because if let's say I'm whatever it is, me, anyone else, fully healed, perhaps I'll have maybe even less empathy for others. As
Yes.
long as healing is ongoing, I feel. So therefore, it's like we say, a double-edged knife or a sword.
Yes.
You can use it to feed yourself, to nourish yourself, to save you, to keep you alive, or you can protect your life if someone is if your life is in danger, or so it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And so healing, so as one continues to deepen and deepen their healing, one the empathy may remain, that perhaps they be able to be called on to guide other people. That's one, if it's a full answer, I hope. Now, the second question you asked about what is meditation, and it even used the word like what is true meditation? Is it the word you use?
Yeah.
So then this reminds me, actually, I need to be very careful, with my answer. Why? Because the ego's always there,
Yes.
even though it's
Yeah. So
false.
that's why I was like, I
It
don't
serves a
think there is
purpose.
an answer.
It serves. There's an answer, but the point is that my answer is gonna be this based on what I've. There's I think it's maybe like a Zen koan, like a Zen teaching, Koen, a koan, and a Zen koan. I think it started like back in China, and then imported to Korea, to Japan, and one of the very, very well-known Zen koans is like it's like basically a finger pointing at the moon is not the moon. It's a guide. It's a marker. It's pointing at the moon. So we what is perfection? Does it exist in nature? So just an idea, something to strive towards. It's a goal. It's a guide. If you're doing archery, it's all part of the Zen arts, archery. So this is the goal, this is the target, and it's a target practice. So when we do meditation or anything, when you're working on your finances, on your business, on whatever it is you're editing, we need to put a point, a guide, something to look towards, to be able to know where we're going. And so the whole game of meditation is simply to allow. It's a process, a simple process that allows the mind to quiet down. So it's not racing. They say, I've read many years ago, that supposedly neuroscientists or whatnot, supposedly they're guesstimating we have on average about 60,000 thoughts per day.
Wow.
Now that's one. Now the kicker is that these 60,000 thoughts, 90% of them, 95% or whatever, on a given day are repetitive, again, every day. So that's why we feel stuck for decades, And that's why people feel stuck, because it's very habitual and it's comfortable. And feeling sorry for yourself, or feeling like like if someone's depressed, or someone is like antisocial, or whatever it is, and you feel like you're stuck because it's a habit loop. But the minute that one has a method, maybe painting, you're in flow. Maybe you're dancing, you're in flow. You're swimming, you're in flow. You're on a bicycle, or you're sitting in meditation, you're dancing. When you get into the flow state, the mind quiets down, so time dissolves, and then finally you have this peace, this clarity. Once you have this clarity, again, back to the universal, back to the wisdom of the ancestors and our DNA, all these answers that are within. We've inherited that. It's not a coincidence that your beautiful eyes are, from your parents. It's up to your parents. Your face, your hair, my hair, our height, like our whatever. Like, it's the way we sound, our voice, our vocal cords. It's not a coincidence. This is the beauty of how powerful the universe is, and how through DNA this intelligence is carried over through our DNA. So the intelligence that's within, the wisdom of the ancestors, it's inside. But then we have a short limited life, like 80 years, and it's our privilege, our chance, our to be able to tap into it. And then it gets revealed, the layers of the onion get revealed one by one. But when you peel the last final layer of the onion, what's left? There's emptiness. So this word emptiness, my understanding, there's this word shunyata, I think I'm mispronouncing it, but to do the void, the emptiness, the Tao, God, the universe. And now physicists and whatnot, they say, okay, well, we feel like solid, the finger doesn't go through the hand, but actually through the naked eye we feel it's solid, but actually, like the movie The Matrix, like you can go through things, there's more support. They're saying there's more space than solid.
Wow.
So also the hardest rock, the diamond is one, I suppose, maybe one of the hardest elements we have on this planet, right? But there's also there are holes in between, but it's so minute the naked eye doesn't see it.
Wow.
But there's also, in Buddhism, there's like 3 or 4 types of, there's like, one of them is like, I think it's called Vajrayana, maybe, and this is the Tibetan type in Buddhism, and it's called the diamond path, and they have the diamond as a symbol. So all these symbols is very powerful,
Yeah.
Everything is related, everything is connected, but the ego, we're lost in the ego. Like, I see me as separate from you, but actually it's all, if I want to go deep in it for a second, and if the audience is I'm not gonna lose the audience, but it's all like an infinite expression of a one infinite intelligence, universe, God, Tao, whatever you want to call it. This universal intelligence is just unity in multiplicity.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's very, very powerful, very profound.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that. And just from what you said, I don't know why this has just come through, but I feel like somehow it links. But it's almost like, and I don't know what your take is on this, but it's almost like, so for example, I knew for a fact that like the areas I needed to work on and things like that, and like I know that in me doing this, like what you kind of saw at the beginning of making errors and kind of making myself look silly, is me over becoming something that I know that I was trying to be too perfect. So everything is very intentional for me, like that I want to show me in my rawest, realist, regardless of my thought of it. If I can do it, maybe that will give someone inspiration to do it too. Okay. But it's really
100%.
funny how these things, you think, like, I love what you said about if you're healing, you can have empathy for others, because it's not a tick and done, okay? So, I didn't realize the perfectionist in me was still like, oh, well, we're doing that one, we've ticked it off. So, you see how it sneaks up in you. And it was only really yesterday when I was really then being really raw, real and honest with a friend, and she said, I've never seen this side of you. You always seem so perfect and put together. And I was like, I was so happy she
Wow.
said that, but I was
Yes,
also
of
like,
course.
oh
Yes.
my gosh, even in me being imperfect, I was still being perfectly imperfect. So,
Could you please repeat what you just said about perfection? I like how you phrased it.
so even in me being imperfect, I realized I was being perfectly imperfect. And that's what she
This is
highlighted
really wild.
yesterday.
I need
Yeah.
to share, if I may, something along these lines. Actually, so imagine 10 years I've been writing this book and I've yet to publish it. My book is my baby kind of thing. It's like I don't have children,
Ooh,
but
exciting.
one of the thank you, but thank you. But one thing just came to me, something very, very similar, like many months ago, and I wrote it down. It's like basically that it goes like this. So life is perfectly imperfect. Trying to make it perfect is an exercise in futility, you know?
Oh,
So it's very, very similar to what you shared, you know?
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Again, it's a guide. It's a guide, like, you know, because you have to point somewhere, some height, some direction to be able to get as close as possible to it. Again, a finger pointing at the moon, you
Mm,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it comes out is because I really, really, really appreciate you mentioned about healing today. And I think there was a part of me that thought if I don't show this and if I if I believe that I've healed it or I have overcome it and this what I'm seeing is maybe just a test or just this or just that, like I know I'm speaking very cryptic, um, then maybe that will convince my mind that I have dealt with it. I have, and then I realized I was actually suppressing. So it was then like it came out.
Mm.
But then there was a part of me that's like, okay, well, how much, reprogramming in the subconscious mind, sitting in stillness, reflecting on it, changing your outer reality, changing how you show up. Well, how much of it do you really need to do in order to release, what is then still playing back to you in your reality? So, yeah, it was a big breakthrough, but it was also like almost a slap around the face of like, really? Really? Still after all this, But I think this is the beauty of like having these conversations and hearing like even after all you've done and you were so real and so honest and saying this still affects me and I think hearing that and obviously I don't know all that you've been through, but hearing that gives me also, and I'm sure everybody listening, permission to say, do you know what? It's okay. It's okay that we still feel this way. We still have this, whatever it is, and maybe it doesn't always have to be healed or need to be healed. Maybe like what you said, maybe there's transformation in actually having that vulnerability. So,
Mm. I need to add to that as well, if I may.
yeah,
So here's an example. So perhaps you've been listening to, perhaps you're familiar, with read his books. Alan Watts,
yeah.
perchance, does it ring a bell? Yeah. So for ages I've been listening to him, and I go on and off, and it's incredible, very, very powerful. It was very, very powerful teacher, very like highly entertainer, like very intellectual, sharp mind, and quite deeply empathetic, very playful. Now, one of the examples he used like many years ago, I heard is just very, very powerful, very apt, and it's basically he goes that you could if you're able to wave a magic wand. I think I'm paraphrasing, but let's for the sake of argument, like you wave a magic wand and over the entire planet, and then scrub everything clean, and you
Mm,
have a nice clean rock is the words you use, so that all say dirt, all evil, or everything that's wrong with the world, everything that's missing, everything is scrubbed clean.
yeah,
You're left with like basically an unfeeling, like basically a Buddha that feels nothing is a stone Buddha.
yeah,
So there's a stone sculpture. It feels nothing. It's a stone sculpture. It's an idol.
yeah,
So as long as we're living, breathing, this blood, everything is coursing through our our body, like it's just the less we feel, the less life becomes meaningful. Again, the zest of for living.
Yeah.
So it's all part of it, and like it comes. It's the rainbow. If you look at the beautiful rainbow, I was in 6 weeks ago. So from China, I flew into Thailand. On my way from the airport, I took the train actually, so I don't want to get stuck in traffic. And it was cloudy, and I said, okay, fine, maybe tomorrow's gonna be sunny, but it's fine. Let's enjoy this day, because it's a rainy season there. And then, I look outside, and I was like standing. There was no place to sit, and then I saw one rainbow, and then I looked again, and I saw like two rainbows, two.
Wow.
Now imagine taking a rainbow, and then you said, okay, I don't like this color, that color, that color. It's like everyone always wearing white, like I'm today, or black, or whatever. Like we can't just like choose, oh, I want this part of life. Everything that's dirty or angry or people hatred or evil or whatever, I don't want that. It all comes with it. It's like you can't choose your family.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the meditation is basically life. Life is our greatest teacher, I feel.
Yeah.
So life's greatest teaching is simply it presents us with a gift of you fell, you got up, you fell, you got up, you fell, you got up, and then that's how you learn how to walk as a child.
Wow.
But then as adults, as adults, we don't want this anymore. No, we want to we kind of become like it's like there's something like I'm teaching for like 20 years, and there's in linguistics there's this concept of fossilization, that someone learning a second language acquisition, like you learn a few expressions, and you're saying it, pronouncing it, or misusing the verbs, or in a sentence, so it doesn't flow properly in speech, or or even like the grammar is inaccurate, and you've been saying it for like years and years, and people can understand you can communicate, but this is a fossilized language acquisition, so there are mistakes there. So you could correct it if one guides you. Guiding you, someone has been there before, like a meditation teacher or a dance teacher or whatever it is, like trying to kind of like your piano teacher, so again, but the greatest learning, it comes from life itself, from our own experience. And so I make a mistake over and over and over. Eventually one grows into becoming wise, hopefully. For example, William Blake, again, many years ago, I studied literature, and something so powerful from William Blake, it goes basically like this: a fool who persists in his folly becomes wise. So acting like so dumb, so stupid, so dumb, eventually when there was enough pain, it's like, okay, I give up, I surrender. When one surrenders to this great universals, whatever it is, God, whatever it is, a greater power, and accepts, and then shatter the ego at least for 5 seconds, then then there's an opening, then you open the window, and then the light comes in. The light illuminating the light of light enlightenment, it all goes back to the same thing, the light of knowledge. And the light of way to live the right way, to live life. So basically, most of suffering happens, we cause it, and part of it is ignorance. Like the Buddhist method, the Buddha supposedly taught, the historic Buddha, they say there have been many Buddhas. Maybe there are Buddhas walking among us. We don't call them Buddha. Enlightened people with their faults and everything, like it's all part of being human, and no one is perfect. Again, perfectly imperfect. And so this kind of the sooner we accept and our limitations, and we learn, it's like, okay, I learned enough. You wave the white flag, and then now life stopped showing you these trials. Now there's another learning. Then you go to upper level, like a game, like a computer game. You go up a level, you keep going up a level. And life is like that. And then it's also, so again, back to Alan Watts and the beautiful thing, one of the amazing speeches, like it's just a short clip on YouTube, millions of watch times, and it's basically how he says, like we thought of life with an analogy with a journey, but it's not a journey. It's not a destination. Life is like a dance, he says. It's cyclical, and it's like you're supposed to dance or sing and move while the music's still playing. Because the moment the dance stops, the party's finished, lights out, from birth to death, in between, like what Shakespeare says, from the first breath as a baby, the final breath is death. And in between that, we call that life. It's very, very short.
Yeah.
So we need to be intelligent to live life the right way and not to continue to causing self-harm, self-cause and harming others, and really connect deeply with others and hopefully be a good influence on other people.
Yeah.
When it comes to, yeah, so
Beautiful.
I can go on and on, but
I could keep listening to you. It's amazing. Like, yeah, I love it. But that to me is like just purely coming through you, because it starts with this, like the dance. It starts with this and it goes to here, and that's the type of conversations and wisdom that you can't rehearse. It's just within you. It's something that you are just expressing from your heart, which is so beautiful. So even our words, are like dancing and playful, and I think thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'm actually, based on what you just said, even though just right now, because I love the idea of dancing, I think what you just said about the start to the end, and it's a dance in between, I'm going to literally put that on my wall so that I know, I'm dancing out of this. I just think it's perspective, isn't it? We can see it as like, oh, again, or poor me, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit in that mindset yesterday. I do not know what was going on with me, because generally I'm like, I'd say my neutral, whatever it is, my
your baseline.
Yes. My base is very generally like, I always want to go out for walks. I always want to do something. I could just not get out of it yesterday, and I could hear the victim mentality and all this, and I'm an open book. I don't care about expressing it, but actually that little thing that you just said there, maybe, I don't know, it's a new day today, but it just added that vibrancy and that playfulness, and to see it in just a different way. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for sharing. If I may add, I think this is like all of us, we fall into that trap. It's our programming. It's habitual. Habits are so powerful. And I came across that, like, I started this also another like a journey like 6.5 years ago here in Vietnam, where I am right now. And funny thing, I left China 6.5 years ago. I first arrived in Vietnam. I was here for many months. Then COVID hit, etc., etc. And now I'm coming back. This is my last time here from Vietnam as well. And it's been over 6.5 years. I have not been to from China. Yes. So over 6 years ago, I again went like a deep dive. I wasn't working for like over 5 years, and I was like, then I started I registered my business, and then I wanted to do the work I've been doing now. And what I came across one day, a part of my learning, because I studied like also nutrition, so I have a bunch of certifications, etc. But the minute I came across how the mind works and how it's all habitual, that was like a big opening. That was it's like everything clicked. Since then, everything clicked. So when we able to meditation, or again dancing, moving, swimming, whatever, to slow down the rate of thoughts, automatic thoughts through habits, is the moment of the beginning of our liberation from being lost in illusion, in ignorance, and so then we're able to actually just like you're reading a text. You have the 10 words on the screen, word for word, you break it down. But if it's played on a video at 100 speed, you're not gonna catch it.
No.
Like the illusion of movement, like with cartoons, so like for 15 frames per second, flash animation going back, cartoons. and you do the drawings like with, with subtle changes in drawings. And then with that, then you can go like, okay, 24, 25 rates per second, Hollywood movie. And now we have like 60 frames, 120 frames with a 4K resolution. So the point is that it gives all that is giving us the illusion of movement.
Yeah.
Now, and then you have words on the screen or you're listening to a dialogue, your internal dialogue, our internal dialogue, if it's going very, very, very fast, it's like we're like a whirlpool and going down, 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 and we're sinking, sinking, sinking in thought. And it's so hard to come out of it. You need someone to throw you like a long, long rope. And it's so, with so much effort, eventually hours and hours with much exhaustion, you're able to come out of it, to snap out of it. So the meditation and what it does and many other arts is simply to allow us to, the monkey mind, we don't fight it. We don't say, oh, I want to be quiet. I want to be blissful. No. You simply observe your thoughts. And then the avenue to observe thoughts is through the many ways. There's like actually 112 meditations, as far as I know, compiled in an ancient text, 112. So the simplest method is through watching our breathing in and out, like Vipassana, in through the nostril, out through the nostril, and you feel it and over and over and over, and then you watch your thoughts like clouds passing many, many, many thick clouds, and eventually sunny skies. No cloud. No cloud. And then you have clarity. Then you can see if there's a bird passing by, there's whatever it is, you can see much, much more vivid. Light becomes much more vivid, more bright, more illuminated. So this is one of the sure way, just 5 minutes. It just takes 5 minutes. You're on a subway, on the metro, you're at home, you're eating your lunch, you're like, just deep breaths, and people don't have to notice it. They don't even notice you. I do it periodically throughout the day. You're on your computer, you take a break. I stand, I stretch, and I'm doing deep breath, like maybe just like 10 deep breaths. I go back and then get back to my work or whatever it is. If you're walking, mindful walking. So again, it becomes a tool at any moment of any day. Right now, you're listening, you could even practice it. You could witness your breathing. The listener, you could be witnessing your breathing. It's your single breath. And so it slows down so the alpha with theta, whatever, the brain waves. Once it's slow enough, we're able to snap out of it. We're able to witness ourselves. The doer, and so then it becomes the beginning of getting the power to self-heal, to get out of this that's why part of my practice every morning for over 10 years now, when I do my sessions, my programs, I combine different arts, different flowing forms. So there's a seated meditation, yes, there's a walking meditation, there's a movement, there's a standing, there's a breath regulation, there's a yoga, there's music, there's dancing, there's elements like a qigong elements, and there's also what's called like animal flow, like a primal flow, natural movements, push-ups, whatever it is. Just because when the body is active, I know this from experience. When the body is moving, the mind is quiet, it's relaxed. When the body is quiet, doing nothing all day, the mind is busy. So that's the trick. That's the trick to get out of our heads in this modern world, because the world's work has become through the screen for most people. If someone is working in construction, it's a very, very physically intensive work. Their mind is quiet, they're focused, and they're working really, really hard, and they have built like an amazing shape, maybe with some backache, maybe. But then when they sit down, they can sit down and meditate. But if all of us in today's modern world, if someone has like a so-called white collar worker, you're like 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a day after day. If you have like a new company you're building and you're making money, you're busy, or if you're like in school, you're doing your PhD, we're totally on the screen. And then you say, okay, I can help you relax by meditation. It's like, no, this is so boring. Like I've been sitting all day. Then I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna lay down on my ass, I'm gonna sleep. The body is like getting weaker and weaker. We need to get out of our head and then more embodied. That's why I say embodied flow movement.
Yes,
And
that's really
then,
powerful.
yeah,
Thank you.
so movement is therapy, and getting out in sunshine, breathing the fresh air, all of these things, it gets you out of your head, and suddenly there's like, I have no problem. Like, what's my problem? Like, stop comparison, you know? So yeah, it's very, very powerful. It's very simple, very powerful. It starts with the
Yeah,
breath and movement. That's the whole
amazing.
teaching,
Yeah.
not my teaching. That's what I've learned. That's what I've been learning all these years. It's
But
ancient teachings.
but that's amazing because even though you could say that, it goes back to that the baby learning how to walk. It's like you can say that right now at the point you're at, but for someone else, you've just dropped an absolute gem for them. So whether it's ours or it's not, because actually nothing is really ours anyway. It's how we show up and respond to it. I know that
Right.
someone listening right now, um, you've just expressed so much, and although you could say it in the simplest form or not the simplest form, it doesn't matter. But someone, like what you say, going back to a mentor or a guide, sometimes people just need that person, the accountability, that connection. Because I think that's the other thing. It's like we're here now connecting, but we're still
Mhm.
kind of not
Yes.
connecting, we are,
On
but
some level, on some
yes,
level.
of course, yeah. But I mean, like in the sense of like what I heard when you said about the person working on their business all day, they think
Right.
they've been doing a lot because they're in and out and up and down, but their mind
Yes, they're
is,
moving
not their
ahead.
body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So like
Right.
even with this, it's like, like even though it's energetic and even through your visuals telling, like it feels like we're going on a journey, and because I'm very visual, but that
Yeah,
can
me
kind of,
too. Yes.
yeah, that can kind of almost trick our mind to think, oh, you've just done a lot that hour. But we have communication and thinking, but actually body wise, no, we haven't. So thank you for that. And definitely, yeah, I realized the one thing that I was like, no, I don't want to yesterday. I forced myself to go for a walk. And yeah, I felt much better.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
A million times better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So I,
Movement is medicine. Movement is medicine.
yes. Yes.
There's
Yes.
so many, yes, yes. There's so many things we can refer in this world. There's so much abundance we can say, refer to as medicine, and it's all like, I feel it's a truism. You can even say food is medicine, but
Yeah.
the right food is medicine. The wrong food is poison. But even if water, just water itself, life-giving water, the purest form of water, how much are we supposed to ingest in 24 hours? A whole gallon, or like in 1 hour, like, or air, like like how much air can one take in one single breath? So let's
Yeah.
not be greedy. So this goes to like all areas of our life, like, like enough is good enough. If I It's just for me, like, I should be, it's not a daily reminder, but at least a few times a week I kind of come back to that, is this thing of, the more, if I the quickest way for me to make myself miserable like that is to compare myself with someone who I think my ego thinks they're more successful,
Yes.
they're now younger, say more beautiful, richer, or faster, more muscular, etc., etc., etc. This is
Mm.
the quickest way to bring misery to myself. And also the quickest way, if I want to still compare, life is always reminding us of, I'm not making up whatsoever. I was on my today when I went to my beach run, and then towards then coming back, and I was walking by and I saw a group of people, and then I hinted at someone, and then I wasn't sure what my eyes registered and my brain translated. So I looked back again, and this is what I witnessed. What I saw is one guy on the beach, and his left hand is missing. Yes,
Yeah.
he's missing a left hand. And I said, oh my God. And this is basically what I'm saying, is like, this life is always giving us so
Yeah.
many hints and lessons, like, and then, a few seconds before, my eyes were glued at this very, very beautiful woman who's taking pictures.
Mm.
And then a second later, I witnessed this guy, because I've been single for like a couple of years now, and I'm really just focusing on just personal growth. Like I'm not, this is the thing too. Like as we mature through life, the more we chase after success, after money, after desires, after mating with someone, after something that's beyond me, that's not me. Even though we say beyond the ego, all is one. But we're lost in the ego, all of us, most of our waking hours, unfortunately.
Yes.
But so when we say, okay, the quickest way to make ourselves miserable is like, okay, focusing on what the ego thinks I'm lacking, versus counting, for hours and hours, all the million and one things that I have in abundance.
Yeah.
And if I want to take it back thousands of years before technology, before the Industrial Revolution, 1850s, before farming, going back to the hunter and gathering days, right, where everything was so organic, right? We didn't have stuff. We did not create stuff. When you're hungry, you hunt, and then you eat, and you take a piece of fruit and whatever, and that was enough.
Yeah.
And then what do you do with the rest of the time? You are within your community. So this is what the world, I feel, needs in the age of AI. I feel like I've been meeting a lot of people the past couple of weeks here in Da Nang in Vietnam, most digital nomads and travelers and stuff. And it seems to be more than ever this year. I'm feeling it that even like younger, like 20 people, 30, 40 something, older, everyone is craving deep human connection.
Yes.
Because this beautiful thing that this technology is, this tool, it allows us to come together and to share this. A million people could see this, and maybe it could help a few people. But it's a tool. It's a tool. Let's use it for the right way. But we need to connect with using this technology, but also move away and disconnect and take a long break for the organic, for the real, true connection.
Yes.
This is where there's a real, true healing for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really.
So thank you for listening. You're an amazing listener.
Oh no, well you're amazing at sharing not just your voice, but the way you share it's really, really insightful and really easy to follow and very profound. I find you take, which is interesting because I was going to ask you about ancient knowledge and blending it with modern, and everything, ironically, I was going to ask you, you've just said anyway. So it's all just perfect, like
maybe
not
it's been
perfect, but you know what I mean.
So maybe you want to, maybe this communication, you can even use the term from communication to communion. Maybe this kind of a deeper communion, maybe like it's being sensed, perhaps subconsciously, maybe I'm sensing it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree, and all in you speaking, it's ironic that I'm not saying everybody, but we see this beautiful thing in front of us as freedom, oh, now I can do it anywhere because I know that's my one, anywhere in the world, on my terms, at my time. But then you've really made me think now that then I am in control of this experience, and generally I want a quiet room, etc. I know it's only a small portion, but am I then actually putting in extra effort to bring community into my life? Because I think that is one of the blessings of these jobs that we feel like we're running or escaping from. Not saying that everybody, but we want to seek a different way of living. But actually then are we just in our homes, or are we just or are we actively then, because it is almost like you have to put in that little bit more effort to be surrounded by community. So I think this is really powerful what you're saying, and it's definitely something that I'm reflecting on.
Well, I wanna pick this up. I just wrote it down, the effort, and you repeated it a second time. So and this reminds me the word effort, to put more effort. Yes, there's something that's kind of like how should I put this? Kind of counterintuitive, perhaps. Especially the first time I heard it, as like give me some pause, to kind of contemplate on on what it actually means at deepest level. So there's something with I think it's the term like in Chinese is Wu Wei, and it goes back to Taoism, and it's like the one of the greatest books supposedly of all time. I've read it. If you've read it, it's so powerful. It's called the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah.
Um, and there's this concept of Wu Wei, which is effortless action, and that's where the idea of the English in the word flow, and so it uses the example from natural elements, from water, how water flows.
Yeah.
Even the world famous Bruce Lee, the martial artist back in the 70s. There's a clip for is available on the internet, and he's like it's actually animation. It's very 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 cool, and he's expressing how like you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup, etc., etc. And again, is from Taoism. It's like from like a flow, and with martial arts, with flowing move, with Aikido, with basically you divert energy, you work with the energy, you don't face force with force. So water comes across a barrier, like a natural barrier, like a rock. It doesn't fight it.
Yeah.
Over hundreds of thousands of years, and it also goes around it. It eventually, so it's fluid. But they say, scientists are saying, okay, we're like what majority 70%, I don't know, 70, 80, 65, I don't know what the ratio is. We are water, blood, etc. So we are actually internally we're more fluid than solid. And as I mentioned earlier, like there's more like the subatomic particles, there's more space than solidity. But the naked eye doesn't perceive that. Our five senses are limited, but which is also such an amazing thing. Like we have the five senses on our brain, and whatever it is, like here, this little thing we call the human being, we're so tiny in the universe, physiologically speaking, but yet we're able to perceive the universe.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of Alan Watts, one of his talks as well. Like, oh my God, it's so profound. And he says, and so one day you look and look and look, and then finally you look out into space, and you look at this star and the farthest distance, the star, and you say, why, that's me.
Wow.
And people say even this expression stardust, like it's a kind of airy fairy thing, but it's this entire universe, multiverse, whatever it is, it's all an expression of one divine, powerful life source energy called God, or what do you want to call it.
Yeah.
So to go back to the word effort again, effortless action. And so you act, and then this is we get into the yin and yang. So again, into the Taoism, so we say like how the opposites, and then in terms of opposites, but actually we're like equal sides of the same coin. So you look at one side, the feminine, and the other side is masculine, and it's in all of us, the different ratios.
Yeah.
And you look at night and day, etc., sun, moon, all that stuff. And so you can go to achieve what you want. There are a lot of women, female entrepreneurs, where maybe there's anima and animus. We're looking at Jung and now Western psychology. Jung was very, very much influenced by Eastern philosophy, and so he was really plugged into that. And then through so talks about the anima, like some men, they're the feminine. They're tapped deeper into their feminine energy, and vice versa. And some women, so you can have a female, very, very successful female running $1 billion company, let's say, and maybe she's achieving a lot, but maybe she can even achieve maybe even more success, let's say, through tapping deeper into her feminine power.
Yes.
And the same thing with men. You could achieve. I don't want to get into politics, but very, very briefly, today we know like how the world is shifting, the world powers are shifting. Today's China, they're involved big time in helping and like bringing the continental Africa into the world, into greater wealth transfer, and they're helping them through doing a lot of big like multi-billion-dollar projects. So what I'm saying is, to get out of politics, is that there's the forceful way, and there's the gentle way. And the gentle way, like why even like when you self-defense, like you can learn martial arts and defend yourself, defend your family by diverting someone's negative energy, and you can maybe use 30% of the energy, and you can conserve your energy. So back to effort. So everything takes effort, but if we can do it with 10% of the effort, why give 100%? We can divert our energy for being loving, more loving when you come back home to your friends, your family, whatever. Then when you finish your work, 10 day works, maybe you're not drained, but you still have energy in reserve to overflow, to share with the people that truly matter, the people on a deep level. That's how it is, like with energy management, like 24 hours in a day. We have so much, and I know at my age now, like every day, if I sleep well, if I had eaten well the night before, if I'm well hydrated, I have enough energy to how energy management. So how do I manage my energy for the 16-hour day? Someone who's pushing themselves for success, whatever success means to them, could be holistic success, could be financial success, could be whatever. You can give it 100% when you're 20, 30, but then someone could be in their 60s and they still have so much to share with the world, and they can lean on other energy sources, not just forceful energy. To like what you're doing with your podcast, you're reaching many people. You could do one-on-one and affect one person perhaps, or you can reach millions of people through this medium technology, which is very powerful. How we use our energy with the limited time we have on this planet.
That's beautiful. Very powerful what you've just said. And although I didn't relate to it that way when I was teaching, and even though I was so thankful for that opportunity, every time I was repeating, like a batch of new children in, like, say 20 batches of the same lesson in 1 week, I maybe made that link in my mind of, can we not do this once and do it well? And I know, like, okay, no, children need, but just from my soul. And I think that's maybe subconsciously how this has happened, because I have throughout my whole life, I've always met the most incredible people, the most interesting stories, journeys, and I've benefited from it. But I think then I realized and made the link that what if, almost like a fly on the wall, that someone else, multiple people, could benefit from it. And so thank you for that clarity.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we now what you just mentioned towards the end is maybe what you expressed is our energies. I know, as I was healing, as I was going on my journey, like a long journey, decades of healing, trying to get guidance, I was a negative person as a kid, depressive. And I knew, like, I did not want to live this way, be this way. I want to have more friends, not less friends. I need, crying for help, crying for connection, so there was a mental shift in me in my early 20s where I decided, I was in a poli-sci class, I remember it. And then there's one beautiful, simple, universal example how, my poli-sci prof, he says, okay, I'm going to share this with you now. And you need to, without thinking right away in your mind, quickly decide right away if it's A or B. And so, is the glass half full or half empty? And I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie, my automatic response was, the thought came out to me, well, of course, it's half full, half empty. So that's the moment I caught myself. I said, you know what? I don't like being this way. I'm sure people they would be more, I would have more friends. I would have more fuller life if I transformed my negative bias. Even neuroscientists, they say, like, universally, actually, human beings, we have a negative bias. It's tied into survival. If someone is dealing with traumas, deep traumas that are unresolved, there's a negative bias because we build like a wall, invisible wall. It's about protection. And that's how we sink into addictions. Because addictions, from my studies, from my understanding, from my own experience, and many books I've read, it's an attempt. It works temporarily, but it doesn't heal. It's like a band-aid. It's not a cure. It's a band-aid on a deep emotional, physiological wound that you have every single day. You have to put another band-aid, another band-aid. It's not a fix.
Yeah.
And so people get into self-soothing, even it's called the term like self-medicating. This is the phraseology is being used uh, in an attempt to hold on to something, to move away on the spectrum of a deep and profound ecstasy and deep pain, and then but because we're out of balance.
Yeah.
So we go towards, for like say numbness. You could go to drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, to numb ourselves to forget whatever you witness, whatever this ugliest, most deeply
Yeah.
thing, to numb ourselves. But everyone's crying for healing, and we need help. And some people are lucky to get guidance and help and therapy along the way sooner. Some later, some never get that, and they can work with on them by themselves or reading books or through decades of life experience. And this was my situation. I'm very blessed with this life because I've lived long enough to come out of it, to be in a position of hopefully helping others. So all I'm saying is that if people are listening, if they, whatever they are on their life journey, seek guidance, seek help, seek transformation, seek the right answer, the right way to come out of it. It's not it's not a life sentence,
Yeah.
nor is it a death sentence. Every day is a chance for transformation. So it starts with recognition, So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I'm sure there's lots of people that are listening that will definitely want to contact you for that, because I think sometimes, again, when we're having these conversations, it's things are going in whether people don't realize it or not, but it's more than a conversation. Like the gem is right in front of you of what this incredible man is revealing, like, okay, he's just said, some people quickly, some people this, some people that, but also, although now on reflection, because I think also we need to be kind to ourselves, and when we go back into an old version of us, we were not the same mindset, we did not know the same, so we should actually hold that person with compassion, because who are we to judge them at a new understanding now? And I think that's really powerful what you've just said, because actually I feel your greatness and what you have to offer now and your wisdom is because of the process you went through. I don't see that as a negative. And obviously we could say, oh, it took this long and it's ongoing and all this.
Right.
But actually,
Right.
when we really
Right.
stop, you're in the position you are in now, whether it could have been, oh, I learned it quickly or I didn't. It was your process. And I think that's really really incredible, and it shows
Well,
the strength of your soul.
thank you so much. This is your that's your like again, the ego is like it peeks its ugly head when the ego listens to all these beautiful things that you just shared out of your pure. It came out of purely shared, and thank you for that. So what I really want to add is, as for me, my point of healing, the moment, that moment, that fateful day was also I was in deep meditation session. I was in a group actually. The power of the group is so incredible. Just like when you go on on a beautiful like a wedding party or Christmas party or someone's birthday party, or you're dancing. It's a party. It's everyone's energy beautiful. Like you go to a big concert, everyone's vibing and vibrating on that magical thing we call music, and everyone's just like so incredible energy. Or you can just do a party by you, dance by yourself, and you can still be ecstatic. It happened to me a few times actually,
I
to be
love that
honest. And I
static.
feel kind of
Yes.
like shy. I feel like shy sharing it, it's kind of allowed for women to do that. You dance yourself crazy
So
or silly or whatever. It's such a
yeah.
powerful thing. This thing, but the energy. So I want to add, the sort of interrupt is like many. So this was in my late 20s, and I was in Seoul, South Korea, and during that session, we were laying down towards the end of the session. Something came to me again because it related with my mom and you having, lost my mom as a child, and say, I forgive you. You were not strong enough. So that was the beginning of my healing.
Yeah.
And that's when I understood the power of forgiveness. and I may have harmed other people. And so there's this also meditation that's like a forgiveness meditation. So you go like, there are a few words, phrases, you forgive yourself, whatever, and then for the harm you may have caused willingly or unwillingly to
Mm.
others, towards others, and then you move on, and then you forgive others for the harm, whether willingly unwillingly, um, that they have caused. And because without I know from my own personal experience, without forgiveness, I was unable to start my healing journey,
Yeah.
healing process. I was unable to. So that's the gift of healing, and
Yeah.
that's the moment. And that was in my 20s. Like now I mean, December I'll be 60.
No. Wow.
Yes,
No way.
yes. I'm
Right.
ancient.
This
I'm
just
all, two
shows
thirds
the
two
beauty
thirds
within.
expired.
The beauty
Two
within
thirds
shines
expired.
without. Amazing. And
Thank you. Thank
um
you.
and I feel just one little thing you were supposed to receive today. And I don't, this is
Mm,
just my take, it's not right or wrong, but I feel like the ego a little bit is you
yeah.
trying not to receive what you deserve to receive, and you
True.
deserve
Thank
to
you.
receive that today. So
Thank you.
I'm happy that I was able to give you that back, because I feel like, everything is like receiving and giving anyway. And
It is.
even though you're the
It
guest
is.
and you are ultimately expressing and you're almost giving, you should also receive. So,
Without, yeah, thank you. Without you being your presence, your powerful presence, your magnetic,
thank you.
powerful, um, if I may say, for lack of a better term, I'm shying away from this word, but loving energy in a most pure form. It's allowing the guests, me, this guest, some other guests, to be able to unload, to share, to give, to present, to speak out, comfortably. It's just like, again, I was in by the beach, and you see like the flow of water, the ebb and flow, and it's the same thing. You have two people here, and so there's the ebb of and flow. Giving, receiving, and it's just like this kind of like universal kind of an exchange of energy. This is what this water,
Beautiful.
this thing, you know.
And just one last thing, I don't want to, because I know like already
Sure.
the receiving is like probably already like, but I actually really love how vulnerable you've shown, because I feel like this particularly, and it's not masculine or feminine, but I think more men
Right.
seeing this is what we need to see
True,
more of.
true,
So I really
true,
appreciate you for
true,
that. Thank you so much.
true. Thank you so much. Actually, I wish I have a wish to be able to live in a world, and if not me in my life form, but in the future, to somehow, again, energy is how, you hear about, thousands of years in this culture, that culture, in this community, that community. Um, you have, whereby, so there's a masculine energy and a feminine energy. We need more guidance from the feminine energy,
Yeah.
not the feminine energy that some viewers may disagree. Not for me as a masculine person, like, not the feminine energy that wishes to be more masculine, to prove itself themselves,
Mm.
that I can do it and I succeed in business. No, no, no. The deep, nourishing, loving, caring.
Yeah.
Again, the yin and yang. So the yin, which is the moon, the
Yeah.
feminine, with the yang, for the, so because I feel very powerful, feel that if the entire world, if we lean more towards the universal feminine essence, consciousness of humanity, and
Yeah.
tap into that source, there'll be perhaps less ego, less power, less control, and less war, less
Yeah.
suffering, less
Yeah.
physical war, millions of people dying where there's no need for it. There's no need for it,
Yeah. I
but it's
yeah.
ongoing. So yeah, the feminine power, the world, do we need it?
I agree. And my big thing on that as well is it's not this or that, it's a coming together. Because it's not now rise of the feminine, it's the fact of, let's be realistic, the control and the manipulation, the aggression and things, that is masculine energy. So it's the coming
Energy,
together
right,
to bring that
right.
compassion and that nurturing and that empathy. Not saying that these aren't masculine qualities, but in a vulnerable way, sometimes in a nurturing way. So I agree with you.
Right,
Thank you so
exactly,
much.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, we don't
It's
want
like
it
the
too much
pendulum,
the other way,
yes.
then too soft. Like it's a coming together.
Right, it's the pendulum,
Yeah.
right, balance, the pendulum
Yeah.
swing. If you know, like if you're
Yeah.
like, look at, we are bipedal, walking on two, not on four,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if one is out of balance, imagine like physically, physiologically out of balance, and you're gonna tip over and you're gonna fall down and then you can break your neck or whatever, So we need to come back, the whole entire human species, we need to come back into balance. And the sooner we're
Absolutely.
able to do that, everyone's going to benefit, like less suffering, I suppose. Uh,
Absolutely. Wow, it's really been such a pleasure. There was so much more I could speak to
likewise,
you about.
likewise.
And even though you've already left so many incredible gems that I'm sure lots of people are going to definitely really have transformational changes from. And obviously, all your details will be in the notes for people to
Thank
contact
you.
you. One last thing that I just like
Sure.
all my guests to do, just whether you want to call it intuitively or off the top of your mind, if there was something right now that you feel that someone listening would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
There could be many things I could share, but I'm choosing to focus on one just now, for the sake of brevity and practicality of it. In this day and age, me, you, the entire planet, most of us are plugged in 24/7 on technology. Again, let's use it wisely. Let's find the power inside, especially teenagers and children. They need to be
Yeah.
guided. The teenagers, they need less guidance, but certainly children need to be guided. Uh, and adults, certainly they need to get back to our power and to use the power of technology, but to not to be sucked in at every hour of every minute of every day. When you go to the beach, if you're able to just leave all the tech behind and nothing, just your keys, get out in nature, and reach out and connect with people. When you're sitting down, like I do, I teach like mindful eating as well. I learned from years ago. If there's a pig who's always hungry, the more you feed the pig, the more it grows. And if we're always eating and eating and eating because we're trying to feel an emotional emptiness, it can never satisfy. So to deal with emotional eating, for example, and with tech addiction, is to deal with the root cause, to ask the right question, to deal with the root cause of what is making me do this, going towards pleasure. Why is this moment not good enough? Like, I'm not in bed, I'm not sick, I'm not suffering, I don't have a toothache, I've just had a wonderful meal, I have, a wonderful house. What is it that's driving me towards imbalance? And what's the best way for me to come back into balance?
Wow.
Tech addiction, food addiction, sex addiction, gambling, drugs, whatever it is seeking immediate pleasure in the moment, is gonna multiply our pains tomorrow.
Yeah.
And reach out for
Wow.
authentic human experiences.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And I hope I heard you right, but even that in itself, of being present and conscious of just saying, why is this moment not good enough? Oh, yeah. Why is this moment right now not good enough?
Just
Yeah,
asking the right question and being quiet enough, you will receive it. You will literally, again, no woo-woo thing. Like, that's not how my mind works. But be receptive to the universal intelligence and back to the intelligence of with every
Yeah.
cell of every atom. Trust your gut, which is supposed to be the primary brain. It's supposed to have the same content within the neurons in the brain and the gut, and there's a biofeedback and the heart,
Mm.
and then the lung, breathing, all that is all. It's a magical machine, organic machine system. It's a miracle of life that all of this is coursing through us. We're
Yeah.
all part of life, and
Listen.
to experience and then tap into your own power and find the answers that are within, and the wisdom of our ancestors, and the
Yeah.
wisdom that could be found in a book, not in a feed, in a
Yes.
meme, or and deep connections, face-to-face connections, hug someone, talk to someone one-on-one, deeply trust, be vulnerable, trust, like I'm being as vulnerable as I can be on camera.
You're doing
To be able
amazing.
to help.
Absolutely amazing.
So
I
so
appreciate
yeah,
it so
that's all I
much.
have to
Thank
say, I
you.
think. Yeah, thank you. I
Well,
appreciate
it's
you.
not just all you have to say. I'm sure you're going to definitely
For
listen
now,
back to
for
this, and
now,
it was incredible. And
thank
thank
you.
you, really, thank you so much. And I know
I'm honored. Thank you.
you're so welcome. And
And I'm blessed. It's a blessing. Yeah, it's a certain. I'm really blessed to have come across right now. Like, this is the first time we go on camera together. We connected a few weeks ago, and something told me to wait a month. Somehow, and as you know, I'm still kind of like, have a little bit like a little bit sick, but I felt like it's the right thing for me to do, not to cancel, not to postpone, not to run away from
wow.
it. Just share it. Like, today is the right day,
Yeah.
and I feel your energies was so powerful to allow me to be the vessel to be able to share this, and whoever is listening, one, many, 100, 1 million, whomever is listening, I wish you peace.
Wow, thank you so much. You're
Thank
amazing,
you.
and
You
yeah, and
are
I'm
as well.
excited. I'm excited because I listen to for when your book is released, and I'm sure it's going to be an international bestseller. All that energy and all that wisdom and all that love that you've put into it. So, very exciting times
When
ahead
are
for you.
when are you when are you releasing your book?
Mine, soon. Yeah, soon. Thank you so much,
Thank
John.
you. Thank you, Shel. Thank you so much.